Hello, this is Stockfather. I've been doing some thinking about streaming live, but then I started thinking uh, it's really been a while since I've went through Wyckoff for people. So I thought I'd go ahead and do that this morning, um, so people can kind of understand what I'm looking at right now. So if we take this as our buying climax, and then we come down for automatic reaction, and this was an up thrust, and this was a UTAD. We would be using um, the schematic here. Okay, so, um, which is, I mean, I completely believe this is what's going on. Um, and we'll go back. Um, I'll kind of label this so you can kind of see this part here was the LPSY. You can see that, I'm pretty sure. And then this is the other LPSY. I believe they give both names on that. Okay, so as you can see, uh, this LPSY, whoops, let's pick a different color than that. There we go. And then this one does a little bit more bouncing around, if that makes sense. And usually breaks a sign of weakness. But what we have going on, I have it marked. We kind of hovered above both of them. Of course, like it was a pretty big space between these, and it's like it's almost testing it in a way. Um, so based off of like how it's reacting this morning, this is I'm sorry, this is also in the this is SPY, but it's also the um, futures, because the futures fill in a lot of space that you don't completely get on the SPY itself. It's probably because it's like it's almost like this leaves gaps. And I was kind of new to SPY. I've been just doing it for a few months, and then for the longest time I debated on whether or not one would have an effect on the other. Okay, so yesterday I was looking to see like um, how high could this go before it comes back, and it could actually the schematic. Let's go back to the schematic real fast. The schematic does a very terrible job of like showing this, but it goes usually a little bit above the automatic reaction. So we have the automatic reaction one way up here. We did do a slight thing, so um, I thought that might be it, but the way that we're moving this morning, there may be on this LPSY a type of UTAD. So this whole pattern here, basically, like how it has the has the middle, and then it has a one more push up, or it's just going to break down. Now, if it does push up, I almost feel like it's going to do it pre-market, and from wherever it goes up, I think immediately it'll start coming down, and I'm looking for it to hit this. It's almost easier to say. Uh, let's move it up, because I'm looking for this high here to test it, but yeah, yeah, I'm looking for it to come down and test this high today, hit this high. it'll have a slight reaction before coming back down. Now that reaction. Also, if we look here, can be, whoops, I have been showing you the circled areas, sorry. At least I don't think I have. Anyway, so this would be the habitual pullback to the this line here would be the pullback today. Gosh, that's not very thick at all. Morning. So this would be about the 380 whatever level, and then we would have a reaction off of that before continuing our move downwards. Now this move downwards could be very deep indeed. So I'm going to switch back to the trading view. Sorry. So the move downwards ultimately. So in my mind, we could just break immediately. We don't have to go back up a little higher, but it's kind of nice to have this futures thing. It's ES1 exclamation mark futures, because it gives you a lot more information. I definitely recommend it for anybody that's working with SPY, that's doing ATA. I debated it for a while because I couldn't really tell. So it could come up just above and then drop down to the 386 area, maybe maybe a little bit further, something like this, and then probably the bounce would come back up close to retesting this before ultimately coming down to this bottom where I would catch and then do some type of continuation. I don't know what type of continuation here. This is like a question mark at this point. I'm pretty sure it's to the downside by the time it gets here though. If it breaks this level, if this does not hold, if this goes down and this is the place where it can catch, then you're looking at, it's going to be an extremely deep dive. Bear market confirmed, bear market next year, just bear market. I can't see it any other way. I've tried to look at any type of potential. This is the only area that I could see where it could grab, but we were already out of the uptrend. We've lost our uptrend. Now you don't get all this information on SPY. I mean, you kind of do. You can't tell that it's tested the lows as much, the selling climax, and you don't really get the UTAD here, but you do, or the other LPSY, which is kind of annoying. And you wouldn't, you'd mark it way up here for the automatic reaction. And this one kind of broke through at the top, but it didn't break through at the bottom. It's very curious. I have this yellow line where I think the time and everything that it's going to take to, based off of the previous dissension, how long it took to hit the bottom, kind of use that as a point of reference. And I'd say we're about here on it. So just using that as a point of reference, and usually that's that we'll keep in mind. So way out of the money. January puts look pretty nice, but today I'd be looking for somewhere around touching this top over here, which this might be a better number to aim for, which is about 384-ish. So, well, it's a little bit higher, but still, I think we'll come underneath it. It's kind of weird. They almost all look extremely even. All the lines here. So, but I've yet. I'm not. Well, the pre-market we're kind of up already, so we might have the move already that, like I said, it'll start the day, and from there, let's say we start the day from here, might have a very small peak up, and then we're going to come down and test this, and from there get a reaction, and then come all the way down to here. And from here, if this holds, yippee. If it doesn't, which I don't think it is, because it's kind of weird too, because it meets right in the center of the path down. To me, stuff like that just kind of blows my mind, how they, so computerized or whatever. Yeah, that looks about right to me. That we'll hit the 385 today, and then next week, or if it has a very weak LPSY here, maybe by the end of this week we'll start heading down here. But yeah, that's I wanted to show, because I've been pretty bad about showing the schematics, because I used to do it a long time ago, and I forget that there's new people in the Discord. And probably nobody wants to look at the analysis part where I show how I do my analysis. But it doesn't take much to look at that and look at back at what we're doing and see the similarities. I can zoom in a little bit more just so it while that picture's up, you can kind of see it a little bit. More like the way the schematic looks. So this, and then the schematic, and then this. And I think you can kind of see how it had the up thrust and the U-head. And yeah. These things are never picture perfect. The whole point of Wyckoff was to say they use very similar things. And the thing about it is, I've talked to many times that Wyckoff came from studying how institutions trade. So in my mind, which, I don't know if I've ever read this anywhere, but it's always been in the back of my mind that the reason that they do these same movements, because Wyckoff got fascinated at the time, like, how did they do the same thing over and over again and full retail? It works, right? You push it up and get them excited, and then you sell them to their excitement, and then you bring it down, and then you give them a fake reaction like it's, their excitement was correct, and then you just drop it, and then you give them like a little bit of hope, and then you drop it. It works every time, and I think it's also, this is the part that I think is that when they develop a range, it lets all other institutions know what's going on. So they work in conjunction with each other if they know what they're doing, right? So these bigger institutions, the composite operators, like a mixture of institutions, so they use these moves to cue each other. For example, they did this UTAD on the lame news that the Powell gave, like as if that was like some kind of strength. And one of the things is weird because it, I just kept looking at it as this being part of this channel instead of the top it was making, and it shouldn't have came up for a spring and look like this. This is not. You have these tests on the way up to a SOS, and I don't know where my mind was. I just didn't. Just wasn't thinking clearly, really. I think I had it programmed in my head that we were going to see the top of this blue range, and I was feeling pretty confident because we were much closer to that than we were the bottom of the yellow range. So it seemed very bullish, but at the same time, it was pretty much staying beneath most of the time the middle part of this upward range, as if you flip this flat, you would have these like up thrusts in the range, and that usually means they're selling off in that. And there are some key elements here where they look to have sold off. Yeah, so today, short term, we're just looking for somewhere around 385, I think. Whatever today starts, I expect it not to go up too much higher. I was trying to evaluate could it make it to 400 because someone asked me in the Discord, and it's probably I may like actually touch this blue area at the beginning of the day, wherever this is, and bounce off of it, like take this uptrend as its rejection point, and then come down to the 386 level, 385. Okay, so 385. So I'm looking at 385 at this week and most likely today. Yeah, and then at 385, people really start to feel the market shift. Show it's not really ever shifted. It's always been down. This downward thing has, been going on since last year. The range is held pretty good. There's been some outliers, but most part, it's held pretty good. This may actually, might be able to pull this down lower, but I kind of like marking it in between here and there, and it seems to be working pretty well. But yeah, it still fits the bearish momentum. If you look at the Moxie indicator, which is the only indicator I really like to use nowadays, you can see after this turned and started coming down, it went into the red and did not get out of it until we were near the bottom, where it started turning green. It's on the 2 hour, and we are in the red. And I do really like the Moxie indicator, especially on the daily, sometimes the weekly. And before, when I was watching this, we had no red on this at all. And now it's actually made a curved top, as if like we've seen the peak. It did not have that previously. And then you can go to the week, and it is red. It's really red. It's red, but it has a kind of curve to the upside, but it's at negative 27. Anything that is above 0.30 is considered to be like a true momentum. So the fact that this is, way above 0.30 by, I don't know, 300 times, I don't know how many times, 3,000 times higher. I don't know. It's a ridiculous amount of time. My math, I can't do it this morning. Sorry, I'm barely awake. stayed up too late, wake up too early, don't have enough coffee. Somebody probably make fun of me about the video, but we're almost there now. I think um, we may see the top. Uh, let's see. We start the day to be around here ish. So 398 maybe. 398. I'm thinking 398 will start the day ish, bounce off of that, and come down. So that's what it's looking like to me. And I hope I've been on the correct thing. Okay. Yeah, and if you can't get the Wyckoff schematics from my how I do TA part in our Discord, you can just uh, Google Wyckoff schematics. There's only 4 key ones, um, 2 accumulations and 2 distributions, and you kind of use them as a rule of thumb, right? So, yeah, I don't really see us hold until, I mean, I just don't see anything holding on this at all. I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, I don't see this holding. If this doesn't hold, this definitely isn't going to hold. I don't see this holding at all. If it does, this is probably in my, well, if this doesn't hold, it's just gone. But I could see us down here doing some type of similar reaction to this, like this off of the middle line. So, it may look something like this, where we come down faster than I'm intending it to happen. And it has then a push up, and then it comes, back down, quasi similar to the way this one came down. And on this one right here, you had the little thing that I'm looking for now, the little curvature, as you would say, the little push up. And today it would be somewhere around 397. And I feel like we're going to start the day that way. I mean, the way that we're moving up. Yeah. See if it's on this, what that level would be. It may start a little lower, like it bounce off of it and then come in a little lower and keep dropping, but usually I like to push it up. Now that's saying 40, but yeah, or 400, sorry. I guess it's possible. But it's going to be a false sign of strength, and get ready for plummet down. That's my 2 cents for educational entertainment purposes only, as if it isn't posted everywhere. And thank you for listening to me yap this morning, and catch you on the flip side.